So I don't know how long you've been in crypto, but back in, I don't know, 2019, 2020, there was this group of Chuck E. Cheese employees, okay? And they were also really into cuckolding. They were called the Cuckold Chuck E. Cheese Boys. It was a very weird gang. They would barge in the bars, bunch of 5'1" to 4'9" manlets, all trying to find their wives on a Friday night while they were out with their boyfriends. They would just storm in the bars. This is what they did all the time. And any free time they had off their shifts from Chuck E. Cheese and cleaning up kids' in the ball pits, this is what they would do. And they would all just roll around town in motorized rollerblades, just little 5'1" manlets, all grumpy because they never know where their wife is, just rollerblading around town, bar to bar. But the thing is, because all their wives' boyfriends were already paying for all their wife's stuff, and usually the rent, these Chuck E. Cheese employees, they had tons of reserve cash. And so they finally all got around. They said, how can we get our wives back? How can we get them to stop other dudes? And they're like, we should get rich. And they're like, all right, how do we get rich? We create this like crypto Ponzi scheme layer 1. And so all these 5'1" manlets with pot bellies, they all got together and they tried to find the best crypto layer 1 they could find. Of course, they settled for the one with the absolute dumbest, lamest name of all time, Cardano. It sounds like an unsuccessful Italian restaurant that ironically would be next door to a Chuck E. Cheese. So they were all in on it. But the thing is, people underestimated the amount of money that these manlets had stored up. Because yes, they might have been 5'1", they might have had penises that could only be jacked off with tweezers, but boy, could they save money. And so all of them got in. They got into this thing called Cardano, and they put all their money in, and Cardano went absolutely nuclear. Absolutely nuclear. But these manlets never having a win in their life, never actually having one victory ever, they didn't know how to stay humble. They didn't know how to say, you know what? I've been successful before, and I remember not to get cocky. No, this is their first time. And so they all got into it. It all shut up. And then the entire internet, the Cardano community, this old crusty pizza shop, said, we're going to pass this Goguen update. It's going to change everything. Once Goguen goes live, oh my God, everybody's going to get in. It changes how people use the network. Everybody is going to come and start using Cardano. And so all the manlets, they formed a man pyramid with speakerphones and started screaming to the mountains, Goguen is coming, Goguen is coming. And so everyone in crypto that has a dick past a centimeter said, you know what? It's about time we make money off these manlets. They're so stupid. And they're going to look at Cardano and be like, I don't like watching other men my wife, so I don't think that's the coin for me. I have some common self-respect. I'm not a Chuck E. Cheese employee. I'm not a 4'9", 250-pound manlet. I don't live underneath my staircase like Harry Potter while my wife dates a 6'5" Swedish man above me. I don't know if I'm going to be investing in Cardano. Seems like a weird place to be. And if you go and look at like any coins, for example, Cardano, which is a really good example of a coin that moved really well last bull run and then lost everyone all their money. If you go to Chuck E. Cheese's right now and you see the miserable staff walking around sweaty, you know, a little bit of poo on the back of their pants because they're kind of special. There's some real autistic special little guys. It's primarily made up of Cardano holders because of this coin right here. And thank God this did happen like it did, because can you imagine those Chuck E. Cheese employees with money? Can you imagine if they reproduced? We'd have 4'2" little manlets just run around, the neck beard only, no beard at all, just giant neck beards, just rollerblading around town, sexually harassing women with their gold chains. And every club we go into would smell like a mixture of Arby's, AIDS, and Hot Pockets. It would be terrible. It would be terrible. So what always happens when this happens is then all the alts start pumping, except for Cardano, because it exclusively likes to watch other coins kind of a Jerry coin, if you've ever seen Rick and Morty. And so it really gets its rocks off by watching everybody else get gains. It really doesn't like bull markets, and it doesn't like participating. It kind of likes to fluff, just like all of its holders. Every few weeks, we need to just have one of these kind of come to Jesus videos. We need to sit around the campfire, stop flexing, stop yelling cuckold jokes at Cardano holders, and we need to have a chat. Because you guys get a little bit too excited sometimes. Also, Cardano holders' wives bang other men. Are we good now? The only thing you really have to do, like there's only one thing you just don't have to do. You have to avoid. You got to make sure all you got to do is just stay out of the cosmic dump that Cardano's been taking on its holders' faces for months now. They are covered. It's like they're the Blue Man Group, except they're covered in feces and dumping and fecal matter that's been raining on them for almost 6 months now. You are a Cardano holder's wife on a Friday night on a date with another man, aka f***ed. And if this catches like I think it will, those gains I just showed you are going to look like a Cardano holder's dick. Small, embarrassing, untouched, and something a woman absolutely does not want to see any day of the week. They're really weird people, and I don't understand them. And And it's weird, I don't get it, but if like that's your thing, like you like being forced to wear a mask in the house because your girlfriend's boyfriend tells you to, you like being told you can't eat the ham out of the fridge or use the internet past 9 p.m. If you don't enjoy sleeping in the treehouse that you made for your kids that won't even talk to you anymore because you lost all their college funds, Cardano's just really not really the thing for you. And I just wanted to point this out right now because unless you're into that sick, weird crap, because I know I've captured your attention making fun of Cardano holders' dicks and lifting weights. But if we go look at, for example, let's say, no, we're not looking at Cardano. No. That being said, unlike a Cardano holder, there are limits to how much we can be cucked before we get angry. So the first thing we really need to do, guys, on this channel is we need to go out and we need to buy lots of ham. Yes, ham. Why? Because most Cardano holders, they're having to let their girlfriend's boyfriend live with them now because they can't pay rent. And on top of having to wear a mask in the house, the new boyfriend is obviously eating all the ham. If you've ever seen Cardano holders, they're just grumpy everywhere. They look like they don't have enough ham. Give them some ham. They're left sidelined like a Cardano holder on Friday night, wondering where their wife is. They're kind of like the new Cardano holders, except they still think they're really smart. Cardano holders accepted their cuckold fate years ago and accepted and held their turd sandwich all the way down. They took the embarrassment. They took their wife leaving them. They took having to get a job at Chuck E. Cheese. And they're actually being rewarded right now. Cardano's actually doing well. We don't have time to make fun of Cardano holders who are down 66%. In fact, there's no point because we all know they're not even allowed on the internet right now. They live with their girlfriend's boyfriend. And frankly, at this point, with the amount of money they lost, they're not even allowed to use the internet or Wi-Fi in the house anymore. But instead, you're sidelined, sitting around watching everybody else like a creepy Cardano holder from the closet. And while we know that's basically the perfect Friday night for a Cardano holder, I don't think you're enjoying this. Which is why I'm gonna open the closet door and look down on your fat 5'2" round little manlet body and say, Billy Bob, this is your last chance. That being said, guys, we need to look at the overall market and come up with a few sound investing strategies. And the one thing you can do is buy literally anything on the market except Cardano, and you'll probably be okay. All right, so that's investing advice number one. But thankfully, we live in a just world, and this coin lost all of its money. And instead of reproducing, other men came and mated with these men's wives. And now they have a family of children that really don't look like them.